This is ulcerative colitis at the microscopic level. It is an aggressive immune disease where your body attacks its own cellular lining, causing severe inflammation and bleeding. For patients, it often means an agonizing reality, being physically tethered to the bathroom and unable to eat a normal meal. Medically, it is considered incurable, but recently, two completely different patients, a strictly analytical scientist and a man overwhelmed by a massive life crisis, both achieved clinically verified remission. Neither of them relied on conventional steroid treatments to get there. Instead, they strictly adhered to Dr. Joe Dispenza's mind-body healing framework. We are going to reverse engineer exactly what they did, step by step, to build a daily action plan you can use. Because healing an immune disease isn't an abstract concept. It requires a structured daily blueprint that we can start building right now. Step 1 starts before you ever close your eyes to meditate. The first major hurdle you have to clear is your own analytical mind and its natural skepticism. You need to prime your brain with data. That means selecting and reading a foundational text, like You Are the Placebo or Becoming Supernatural. The goal here is purely functional. You need to review the science to logically prove to yourself that if prolonged stress and negative thoughts can biologically create illness, those same mechanisms can be reversed to create physical healing. Blind belief usually fails under the pressure of severe pain. Your mind has to be intellectually satisfied before your body will allow itself to heal, making this education phase the mandatory foundation of your routine. Once you understand the mechanism, you move to the physical habit. This involves using specific guided audio tracks, primarily the healing or blessing of the energy centers meditations. This chart shows your initial target, a strict baseline of 20 to 30 minutes for daily practice. Once locked in, you scale it up. You increase duration to 40 minutes or more, and frequency to 2 or 3 times a day. But you need to prepare for a critical biological reaction. As you begin this practice, your physical symptoms may actually get worse. This is known in behavioral psychology as an extinction burst. It is a temporary increase in the frequency and intensity of a behavior when it no longer yields the expected results. In this case, when you suddenly focus intense attention on healing the disease, you inevitably confront your deep-seated fear of it. That fear triggers a temporary spike in stress hormones, which increases the physical inflammation. You cannot abandon the protocol during this phase. Pushing through the fear response when your symptoms flare up is the only way to genuinely reprogram your nervous system. Scheduling hours on the cushion accomplishes nothing if you quit at the very first sign of biological resistance. Sitting with your eyes closed is only half the work. Phase 3 takes the practice out of a controlled environment and into unpredictable, everyday settings, like your kitchen or hallway. For a colitis patient, highly specific, mundane actions, like looking at a plate of food or walking toward the bathroom, act as environmental triggers that cause immediate anxiety. Look at this diagram. At the exact moment your brain generates a fear-based thought, like, will this hurt? You must actively intercept and reframe it. You replace it with a calm, deliberate assertion. This time it will be okay. If you do this consistently, you will notice a specific order of operations. Your overall mood will noticeably lighten long before the severe physical symptoms, like bleeding, actually stop. Consciously replacing fear with neutrality during those highly triggering moments is the bridge that connects your seated meditation directly to active physical healing. The final component addresses the environment. Massive, sudden life stress is a critical variable that directly drives colitis flare-ups. Consider an acute emergency scenario. You wake up at 3 a.m., heart pounding, experiencing an intense, overwhelming panic attack about your life or your health. In that exact moment, you deploy your meditation practice as a break glass intervention to manually force your nervous system to calm down. Your mental target during an emergency is incredibly narrow. Do not obsess over healing your colon or fixing the disease. Focus solely on lowering the immediate stress levels in your body. Using the practice to neutralize acute stress spikes prevents your immune system from continuously backsliding, which allows the physical healing to happen as a natural byproduct. You now have a completed 4-step daily mind healing protocol. You build the intellectual foundation, scale your daily meditation time, execute cognitive pivots during triggers, and use the practice to intervene during acute stress. This timeline tracks the necessary duration. It requires 3 to 4 months of strict daily adherence to this protocol to begin seeing measurable physiological changes in your gut. At the end of that timeline, both the skeptical scientist and the highly stressed patient underwent clinical examinations. Their ultrasounds and colonoscopies revealed completely normal tissue, zero inflammation, and the highest possible level of disease remission. Your immediate next step is clear. Choose one foundational book to start reading today and schedule your first 20-minute meditation session for tonight. A medical diagnosis of incurable guarantees a lifetime of illness, but only if you refuse to change the way your mind operates.